There are so many faces in this crowd right now. It's astounding to me how each and every one of you have a story that I have yet to hear. A story about your own pain, griefs, and challenges that you've endured. If we think about it, how many times have we passed a person on the streets and wondered, what are they going through today? How is their day going? Or what's on their mind? You never really know the story of those around you. I mean, look at the person next to you. Even if they told you their story, you would never fully know the extent of what they've been through. I want you to apply this to the story that I'm about to tell you. But before I tell you this story, I want you all to understand who I am. I'm a senior undergrad who studies criminal justice with a minor in victim studies. Over the summer, I took an internship with the Women's Center for Domestic Violence and Sexual Assault. I got to hear countless stories from survivors about their experiences and hardships. I could see the fear in their eyes as they came in, but I could also sense the relief from escaping their abuser's grasp. Every single one of their stories matter. No matter the gender or sexual identity, your own story matters. Let me introduce you to someone who we will call Layla. Picture a young woman in her 20s, mother to 3 children. She has gorgeous brown eyes and bronze skin with hair that flows in waves with blonde highlights. On this day, she was working a long shift as a medical assistant, a 10-hour shift that has left her completely exhausted, but where she still has enough energy to where her children can feel the warmth of their mother coming home. Her husband, who has just gotten off of work as well, is sitting on the couch with one beer in his hand. He's been drinking since he's gotten off and happens to be on his 4th beer. As it gets late, she goes to put her kids to sleep, only to notice her husband yelling down the stairs furiously, upset because his wife has forgot to put his clothes through the washer for the upcoming day. Tirelessly, she tries to explain and apologize, but the argument implodes. He's drunk and unwilling to listen, angry at his wife. They're both yelling, cussing and screaming, both trying to be heard, but within minutes, all is silenced. As he takes his hand and lashes it against her face, leaving her on the floor, fallen, dazed, and confused with what has just happened. He's hit her. Unapologetic, he goes off to bed, leaving her mind to wander. Weeks, months, and years pass as she continuously finds herself in the same position, a victim to the abuse of her lover, physically, mentally, and emotionally. She struggles with the war between her mind and her heart. To her mind, he is a monster, a threat to her safety, breaking her in ways one couldn't imagine. But to her heart, he is her reinforcer, giving her the drug of love that she grieves for so desperately. Thousands of women have experienced this same exact pain. Most have stories more unimaginable than the one that I've told you. But yet, when we sit and listen and ask our survivors about their traumas, our minds veer to the simplest question, one we could all guess. A question that we all believe would have solved all of their problems. Why didn't you leave? Those 4 words have been the epitome of women being silenced and victimized for centuries. Women have been consistently belittled and berated with this question to the point where we have generationally implanted in their minds that help is no longer available. Just take it on the chin and go about your lives. It's no wonder that women and men who experience this feel they cannot speak up. Now, I'm not trying to give you a lecture, but simply paint the picture for why there is no simple question such as, why didn't you leave? I've taken a couple of victims courses, and one thing really stood out to me, something I believe we all need an understanding of: the power and control wheel. This wheel is a demonstration of the scenarios or tactics that women and men face and experience when facing intimate partner violence. It shows us the complexities of the relationship between the abuser and the victim. It also shows us the early signs of what an abusive or controlling relationship can look like. In the first corner, we have intimidation. This is where the abuser will use anything and everything to get you to become scared of them. Layla was intimidated by his physical beatings and his anger. If she so much as spoke back, it resulted in him hitting her. So imagine the fear of involving the police. Second, we have emotional abuse. They will use manipulation or gaslighting to weaken your sense of reality and get you to question your own competence. You begin asking yourself, am I the victim? Or am I the one causing these outbreaks of violence? Third, we have isolation. They will cut you off from the world, leaving you with no support or help. You begin to feel completely alone. Layla never had any friends or family. She was kicked out at 18 with no support system to run to. Her coworkers were only her coworkers. Running to tell somebody wasn't even an option. Being in this predicament, believing that you're all alone, is the most gut-wrenching feeling. It can lead someone to believe that there will never be an option to leave. Fourth, we have minimizing and denying. They will downplay their actions or pretend that nothing has happened. In Layla's case, her husband left her on the floor, as if the situation was not serious, as if it was just another day. In the power wheel, children being used as a tactic of control is most often overlooked. Most survivors think before they act because their actions can result in the harm of their children. You think about your child in every step you take, every decision that is made, and how you can keep the family dynamic that you want your child to have. Although Layla's husband never hurt their children, she often feared for their safety within their own home. Next, we have male privilege. In Layla's marriage, they had a strict gender-based role that led to a lot of issues. For example, if she didn't do his laundry or other household tasks, it resulted in outbreaks of violence. This can apply to many privileges, such as immigration status, gender identity, social status, and much more. Using this against the victim makes it harder for them to leave due to the upper hand that the abuser has. Second to last, we have economic abuse. As we all know, nothing in this world is free. It takes money to buy a car, a house, or an apartment, just to simply feed yourself and your kids. Many abusers don't even let their partners maintain jobs, or they lose their jobs due to multiple injury absences within their employment. Layla faced financial hurdles. If she left, she would have to support herself and her 3 children with just one job. This is a barrier that most survivors face because without the financial stability of being on your own, there's no way of surviving. Lastly, we have coercion and threat. This can be the most deadliest and most problematic one of them all. They can threaten you with the death of leaving or even the death of your child. Since the abuser is using control over you, any sign that they are losing that control will immediately increase their rage, making them a danger to your safety. In the US, 1 in 3 women who have been murdered by their partners. 1 in 3 women. This is a drastically high percentage. But yet we still believe that the best solution for our survivors is leaving. So many women just leave and end up at their own funerals because their abuser would rather kill them than lose somebody that they so-called love. Why didn't you leave? This is not the question that we should be asking. So how can we help? What can we do to improve this situation and make sure that this person is safe? Well, the first step you should take is to sit them down and ask them, what can I do for you? Or what do you need from me? We need to create a sense of control within their lives so they understand that they have options. After assessing their needs, we jump to safety planning. Safety planning is where you create a plan of action to ensure that they have a safe haven to turn to and a future plan moving forward from that point on. We need to make sure that they have somewhere to go. This can look like making sure they have a place to stay, how they will save up money, where the nearest police station or hospital is, or what legal actions they may want to pursue in the future. We shouldn't push our women to leave just because it's easy. We should instead create a system of support to allow our survivors to feel heard and seen. For once, they feel like they have a chance to choose a path for themselves and take control of their own lives, a way out of a situation that they used to believe would be the end of them. I come to you to share Layla's story because it doesn't end happy. She doesn't leave, but stays for many years. She chooses to endure her hardships for her children, to stay a family. But not only because of that, but because of the gravity of love for her abuser. That key word, choose. Not every survivor stays. We can only be there as their support and their guidance in a time of need. A light and voice for those who cannot speak up. In the room near you, we have counselors and community resources for anyone who may need advocacy or help. We also have pamphlets for those who want to learn more and educate themselves on domestic violence. If you or a family member is going through this, please do not hesitate to contact the National Domestic Hotline and find resources near you. Instead of being a bystander and asking those 4 stereotypical words, why didn't you leave? Become the person who can give them hope and opportunity. You can give them a choice to decide whether they want to stay or leave. Thank you.